Welcome. This is video 12 in a series of videos discussing the use of two software packages, pfodDesigner and pfodApp. Now, these software packages were developed by Forward Computing and Control Proprietary Limited out of New South Wales, Australia. So today what I'd like to do is discuss filters that have to do with touch zones, your filters on your touch zones. So what we're going to do is just go ahead and load pfodApp, and we'll show a menu here. Now on this particular menu I've got A, B, C, D, and E, and I've got the filters, the filter numbers, and the description of the filters showing up there. Now if you want a more detailed look at the filters and some text to refer to, you can look at the developer's pfod specification, and on page 42 there's there's a description there of what the filters do and the numbers of the filters, and whether it's a long press or up or a drag or what have you. Now these other two touch zones over here on the right of the screen in the middle, S and T, they're there just to show the movement of this here rectangle. You'll see that later in this video. But the very first thing I'd like to point out is, and I've pointed this out in a previous video, but if you do not want these dashed lines basically, well, what they do, not basically, they show the the area of the touch zone that we've got set up, eh? If you don't want them to appear on the screen, what you do is you just go to Connections, and we'll go ahead and we'll edit here. This log debug data, if you uncheck mark that, you will have no dash lines showing up around your touch zone areas, or no dash lines representing your touch zone areas. So if you want the dash lines, you just go ahead and check it off, and away we go. So I'll go back and get back to our menu here, and we'll talk a little bit about these filters. Now you can see that I've got the filter numbers, like on the first one here on A, you've got filter 2 drag, so that's filter number 2. It's on, like I say, on page 42 of the pfod specification. That's drag. So what I've got the software doing there is, you can see column and row. I've got them displaying as I drag the stylus across the page. On B, I've got just touch. This filter is just a touch filter. So when you touch the screen, so filter 1 is called, and it's called a down. I guess filter 1 down. So you just go ahead and just touch the screen. And the way I've got the software set up is that particular rectangle just moves to that particular spot on the screen that you just touched, right? And that's how that one works. Now S and T, I've got them set up there over on the right there, just to show that a little bit of flexibility with the software. You can set up touch zones to go ahead and move items around the screen as well, right? And say if I want to touch the up arrow there, you can see that the rectangle is moving up, or down. And the amount that I've got it moving up or down is set in my software, So, I mean, it's easy enough to set up another up and down set of arrows where you change the value of, the amount you're moving up and down. Okay, on to on to letter C here for touch zone C. Now, what I've got happening on C is I've got nothing displayed there right now, but when I touch it, I've got, this is actually a combination of two filters. You can combine filters, right? So I've got C set up where it's a combination of two filters, down, filter 1, and up, which will be filter 4. So I go ahead and touch it. I've got filter 1 for down, and I've also got hide and unhide in the, I'm using those two functions in the software. For filter 1, I'm using unhide. So I'm unhiding this here text down to show, lift to hide, filter 1 and filter 4. Now when I take my stylus off the page, filter 4 is going to kick in for the filter for being up, and I've got this here text being hidden, right? So there you go. Down to show, lift to hide, filter 1 and filter 4. Now the other thing I want to point out is on the top right hand corner of the screen there, you got these two semicircles which turn to the right. Now they do that when the software is doing something, computing, thinking, or the graphics on the page, or something's happening, in case you don't have anything else happening to see what's going on, or to see that something is going on. You can see when I touch the screen that they're going to turn to the right a little bit. And when I lift off the screen there, the menu, then little, the little semicircles will turn to the right again. But that's like I say, that's just to show that something's happening with the program there. On D, I've got when stylus or finger up. So on this one here, I can touch the screen and I can drag my stylus around. Nothing happens. But when I lift my stylus off the screen, again, the little twirly bird turns to the right, so to show that something's happening. Long press, no drag. That's the last one. That's the touch zone E there. Long press, no drag. So on that one there, what happens is it doesn't kick in right away. As soon as you touch the screen, it's a long press, so it kicks in about 3/4 of a second after you touch the screen. So I'll just go ahead and I'll just touch that touch zone there now. And you can see the little semicircles turn to the right about 3/4 of a second after I touch the screen. So that's filter 16 long press. So that pretty much covers it for for touch zones. If you want to, like I say, if you want to refer to them more, just go to page 42 of the pfod specification and study up on them a bit more if you want. So we'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks.